Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to the Professor Azim and all of my friends. Right now, we would like to present about the HACCP Decision 3 for anemia patients. The member that involved in this group assignment is Nur Nazira binti Muhammad Noor with the metric number 049941, Azliza binti Rahmat with the metric number 049639, Siti Alakamila binti Mahfuzi with the metric number 050199, and Nur Anis Alifah binti Akra Supri with the metric number 050692. Introduction.
Okay, first of all, we have to know about anemia. So basically, anemia is a condition where our number of red blood cells and concentration of hemoglobin in the red blood cells are decreased. So as we know, hemoglobin is function to carry oxygen throughout our body. So if the hemoglobin decrease, the capacity of the blood to carry oxygen to the body's tissue also will be decreased. So in order for us to meet the physiologic needs, we have to reach the optimal hemoglobin concentration. Okay, some of the symptoms of anemia patient is fatigue, weakness, dizziness, and shortness of breath. Anemia can happen if our body does not produce enough red blood cell, and the red blood cell is being destroyed by the body, and also bleeding such as heavy menstrual that cause more red blood cell being destroyed by the body.
Iron deficiency anemia.
Iron deficiency anemia is a common type of anemia that we always heard about. So this type of anemia can be caused by shortage of iron in the body, lack of iron supplementation, and blood loss. So diet with lacking in certain vitamins and minerals, especially folate, vitamin B12, and iron, may increase the risk of getting iron deficiency anemia. So this can be avoided by eating adequate amounts of vitamins and minerals to improve iron absorption in the body. In hazard analysis critical control point or HACCP, we have to consider few things such as hazard, critical control point, and critical limit. So microbiological hazard means that biological, chemical, and physical properties that may cause an unacceptable consumer health risk, while critical control point is a point at which a loss of control may result in an unacceptable health risk, while critical limit is the maximum or minimum value to which a biological, chemical, or physical parameter must be controlled at critical control point to minimize the risk that the identified food safety hazard may occur.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Nazira binti Muhammad Noor. So today I will talk about the breakfast menu for anemia patient for breakfast number 1. So there is 1 bowl of noodle soup with the vegetables and 1 pieces of roasted chicken and 1 glass full cream milk. Okay, for noodle soup with vegetables, how to handle the noodles is by washing and plating. So there is no CCP here because there is no hazard, and also there is no temperature to measure. So next is vegetable soup. For vegetable soup, there is raw vegetables, washing, cooking, and plating. So for vegetables and cooking, there is CCP 1 and also CCP 2. So CCP is determined by the decision tree. So how to know the decision tree? We need to answer a few questions from the decision tree, which is question 1: is there any hazard at this process? So we need to continue, yes. So the second question is, do control measure exist for the identified hazard? Yes. So question 3 is, the step specifically designed to eliminate or reduce the likely occurrence to the acceptable level? If yes, so there is a CCP. For CCP1, for raw vegetables, there is a hazard, physical hazard, which is soil and warmth. The severity of this hazard is medium. Critical limit is removing a physical hazard. How to control the measure is by wash vegetables properly. How to monitor it is by wash vegetable with a tap water to remove the soil. There is a correct fashion where wash vegetables in hot water to remove all the dirt, or using a special utensil for washing raw vegetable to prevent cross contamination. So for next, CCP2 is cooking. There is a hazard, a biological hazard, which is microorganism growth. So severity of this hazard is high. Critical limit is by using a time and temperature. Control measure is boiling the optimum time and temperature. How to monitor it is by boiling for 10 minutes at 100 degrees Celsius to 132 degrees Celsius. And there is a corrective action here where we can set an optimum time and temperature for boiling the soup. For roasted chicken, the process is raw chicken need to be cut and washing and marinate, and also next cooking and then plating it. So CCP1 is at raw chicken, CCP2 is at marinate, and CCP3 is at cooking. For CCP1, process of raw chicken, hazard is biological hazard, which is salmonella. Severity of hazard is high. Critical limit is time and temperature. Control measure storage of the chicken from slanted plant to the kitchen. Monitor its temperature need to be negative 18 degrees Celsius for storage within 2 days. So corrective action for this step is set time and temperature during transmitting. Condition of the chicken is need to be checked one by one. So CCP2 is a process of marinade, where the hazard is biological hazard involve salmonella. Severity of hazard is high. Critical limit is also time and temperature. Control measure is storage with optimum times and temperature. How to monitor it is storage in a chiller is done for an hour for temperature 4 degrees Celsius or lower. Corrective action is set and temperature during storage. Separate the storage of the chicken and others such as vegetables. CCP3 is also the process that involve cooking, which also involve a biological hazard and salmonella. Severity of hazard is also high. Critical limit is time and temperature. How to control the measure is cooking method need to be suitable with optimum temperature and time. How to monitor it is cooking method that is used is roasting with temperature 180 degrees Celsius for an hour to kill the salmonella. Set corrective actions is set temperature and time using a thermometer, and the thickest part of the chicken need to be checked the temperature until meet the need. For 1 glass of full cream milk, the brand that is used is Dutch Lady. So CCP and CP is not needed because there is no preparation for dietetic and food service department of hospital.
Okay, so now I will explain more about the second breakfast menu for anemia patient. So for this menu, we have 1 glass of orange juice, 1 pieces of fried egg, and 1 small Chinese bowl of fried rice. Okay, the first one is orange juice. So for the first type, we have fresh orange juice where we can get from the supplier or from the manufacturer, and then we have to wash the fruit thoroughly with the clean water to reduce the chemical and physical hazard. And then we have to peeling and cutting the fruit. There we have to consider the CCP wine, and then we have to blend, strain, and serve the orange fruit to the customer or for the patient. So for this 3 step, we have to consider the physical hazard. As you can see right here, we have a HACCP decision tree where it shows that we have a critical control point for this method. Okay, for CCP1, we have cutting, and the hazard that may be occur is physical hazard, which is the metal pieces. The severity is severe, and for the critical limit, we have to make sure that there is no damage to the knife that used for cutting the vegetables or for the to cutting the fruits. And for monitoring, the employees who manage the utensil must check the knife regularly before cutting. And for the corrective action, we have to stop using damaged knife, isolate the product that have been detected to have any damage, or hold the knife until it can run through the metal detector. And we have to reject any damaged product. So for the second one is fried egg. As usual, we have to receive the raw material from the supplier or for the manufacturer, and then we have to wash the egg thoroughly with the clean water to reduce its chemical and physical hazard. We have to heat the pan and put cooking oil into it. For this step, we have to consider the CCP1, and then we have to crack the egg and add into the pan. Okay, we have to consider the physical hazard because the eggshell may get into the pan and contaminate the fried egg. And the next step is hot holding, where we can consider the CCP2. And lastly is serve the fried egg with the fried rice. And then for CCP1, we have cooking egg. The hazard that may be occur here is biological, chemical, and physical hazard. The severity is severe because it may cause the food poisoning to the patient. The critical limit is we have to cook the egg 75 degrees C or higher for 15 seconds. Avoid intermittent and remove any foreign material. For monitoring, the chef must check the temperature before started cooking and heating time during cooking and do a visual check. For the corrective action, if the critical limit has not been met, continue to cook until it has been met and investigate for any temperature or time abuse. And discard the food if any contamination occurred. For CCP2, we have hot holding, where hazard that may be occur here is biological hazard. The severity is severe as it can cause food poisoning to the patient. The critical limit is we have to cover the food that have been cooked and hold hotter than 60 degrees C. And for monitoring, we have to check for any bacterial growth following the cooking process before served to the patient. For the corrective action, if the food has been held for below than 60 degrees C for less than 2 hours, then we have to reheat the food to 74 degrees C and transfer to a clean container. Increase the temperature of the storage equipment to above 60 degrees C, and we have to remember that the food must be reheated only once. And the third one, we have fried rice. As you can see right here, for the first step, we have to receive the dry good and receive the refrigerated good from the supplier. Same with the previous slide, we have to consider the biological, chemical, and physical hazard. And then for the next step, we have to wash all of these raw material using a fresh water or clean water to reduce its chemical hazard. And for CCP1, we have cutting the spinach, and cooking the rice, we have CCP2. Okay, during cooking the fried rice, the first one is we have to heat a pan and put cooking oil into it. For this step, we only have to consider the physical hazard. For saute the ingredient that have been green, we have to consider the CCP3, and then we have to add seasoning and put additive, add spinach in the pan, add the cooked rice in the pan, and add the soy sauce. For this fourth step, we have to consider the physical and biological hazard. And then we have a hot holding temperature, we have CCP4, and lastly we have to serve the fried rice to the patient. And for this last step, we have to consider the biological and physical hazard. As usual, we have a HACCP decision tree that show that for this cooking method, we have a critical control point. For CCP1, we have cutting, and the hazard that may be occur here is physical hazard, which is the metal pieces. The severity is severe because it may cause harm to the patient, and the critical limit, same like the previous slide, we have to make sure that there is no damage to the knife that used for cutting the vegetables. We have to for monitoring, the employees who manage the utensil must check the knife regularly before cutting. And for the corrective action, we have to stop using the damaged knife, isolate the product that have been detected to have any damage, or hold the knife until it can run through a metal detector and reject the damaged product. So second one is the cooking the rice, the hazard that may be occurred here is biological and physical hazard. The biological hazard may be Salmonella, Listeria monocytogenes, and Bacillus cereus. So the severity is severe. The critical limit is we have to cook the rice to a core temperature of 75 degrees C for 30 seconds, and we have to remove any foreign material. For monitoring, the chef must check the temperature before started cooking and heating time during cooking, and must do a visual check. For the corrective action, if the critical limit has not been met, continue to cook until it has been met, and investigate any temperature or time abuse, and evaluate the risk. And lastly, is discard the food if contamination occur. And for saute, the hazard is biological hazard, the severity is severe, and for the critical limit, we have 75 degrees C or higher for 15 seconds. The temperature must be less than 180 degrees C. Avoid intermittent and remove any foreign material. For monitoring, the chef must check the temperature before started cooking and heating time during cooking, and do a visual check. For the corrective action, it's just the same as the cooking the rice. And the last CCP is CCP 4. We have to consider the biological hazard, and the severity is severe. The critical limit is we have to cover the food that have been cooked and hold hotter than 60 degrees C. For monitoring, we have to check for any bacterial growth following the cooking process and before served to the patient. For the corrective action, if the food has been held less than 60 degrees C for less than 2 hours, we have to reheat the food to 74 degrees C and transfer to the clean container. We have to make sure that the container have a temperature of above 60 degrees C, and we have to remember that the food must be reheated only once.
Okay, proceed to the lunch menu for anemia patient. Here we serve patients with white rice, beef curry, and sauté vegetables with avocado and strawberry juice. Okay, to prepare white rice, obviously we need rice, and we will wash it with fresh water repeatedly, and this steps is categorized under OPRP, which is operational prerequisite programs. And then we cook the rice in the rice cooker, and this is also under OPRP. I do not put the cooking method under CCP because we cook in the rice cooker, as rice cooker is automatically set the time and temperature for the rice to cook. And lastly, we will plating the rice with 1 serving for each patient. The corrective action that we can take for OPRP1, which is the step of washing rice, we can wash the rice properly under running cool water repeatedly for about 3 to 4 times, or until we can see the rice water becomes clear and no more impurities in the rice, such as rocks, sands, and worms. For OPRP2, which is cooking, as we cook the rice in the rice cooker, so we do not have to worry much. But if the rice cooker do not work well, or the electricity in the kitchen is cut off, so we will change the cooking method from in the rice cooker to maybe we will steam or cook on the stove. So for that cooking method, we have to check the rice frequently. Okay, next for beef curry, of course we need beef, and for thawing and washing step, we will put under OPRP. Next, for the CCP is all about the cooking method, sautéing, cooking, and boiling. So for OPRP1, which is thawing the beef, we have to choose the best way to defrost meat before we proceed to cook, because we have several techniques of thawing, such as thaw in the chiller for few minutes or hour before we proceed for cooking, and thawing under running water. So if we directly want to use the beef from the freezer and want to cook the beef immediately, so we will use the technique of thawing under running cool water, because we want to minimize the bacterial growth on the beef. Next, for washing and cutting, we will wash the cut meat under running water until there is no blood or any impurities, and we will specialize the utensils or knives and cutting boards for meat, poultry, and vegetables and fruits. So basically for meat, we will use a red color of cutting board. For sauteing the onions and all the herbs, first we will wash the onions and herbs to increase the hygiene, and we will saute them until a nice smell is occur. Then for cooking method, we will set the optimum time and temperature for the meat to become tender and all the ingredients become until all the ingredients are cooked well. Next, we proceed for sauteed vegetables. So the vegetables will be washed, rinsed, and cut under OPRP method. Then we will saute the garlic with olive oil in a large saute pan. Then we will add all the vegetables with varieties of colors such as bell pepper, broccoli, carrot, cauliflower, and peas, with some flavor of oregano, black pepper, sugar and salt, and chicken stock. So for the washing, rinse, and cutting step, we will wash the vegetables in hot water to remove all the dirt and all the pests that have been used. Then we will specialize the utensils such as knives and cutting board. So basically for vegetables, we will use green cutting board. For sauteing and cooking, the same corrective action as sauteing the onions and herbs that I have presented to you just now. And for the cooking method also, we will set the optimum time and temperature for vegetables. And basically vegetables does not require longer time to cook, because we don't want the nutrient in the vegetables become depleted. We don't want the nutrient in the vegetables lose. For avocado, we will wash and peel the skin of avocado, and we will cut into slice. Okay, So for cutting, as usual, we will specialize the utensils of knife and cutting board, and we will use the green cutting board, same as vegetables. For preparing strawberry juice, we do not identify any of the steps as OPRP or CCP.
Okay, for the menu for anemia patient is presented by Miss Siti Ali Kamilah binti Makfozi with the metric number 050199. There are 4 menu, which is brown rice, catfish cooked with chili, fried Chinese kale, and mango juice. For the first menu, which is brown rice, there are 4 steps. The first step is raw brown rice. This step is OPRP. In this step, we identified that there are biological, chemical, and physical hazard. Step 2 is washing. Washing is PRP. Step 3 is cook in the rice cooker. This step is a CCP, because we have to control the cooking temperature and the cooking time. Step 4 is plating. And this is HACCP decision 3 to identify CCP. For OPRP1, which is raw brown rice step, the control measure in this step is the expired date is not overdue before use, The critical limit is the expiry date. To monitor this step, we use visual evaluations to see any rice less in the brown rice and see the expiry date of the brown rice. Corrective action in this step is withdrawn the brown rice if it overdue from the expiry date. In the CCP1, which is cooking in the rice cooker step, the control measure is the temperature of cooking must be suitable and the adequate time of cooking must be achieved. The critical limit in this step is the temperature and the time of the cooking. To monitor this step, we check the temperature of cooking is achieved by using cooking thermometer. Corrective action for this step is we add more time of cooking until it reaches 100 degrees Celsius or the brown rice thoroughly cooked. For the second menu, which is catfish cooked with chili, there are 12 steps. The first step is raw catfish. This step is OPRP and we identified that they are biological hazard. Step 2 is thawing. Thawing also a OPRP. Step 3 is cutting. Cutting is PRP. Step 4 washing, also a PRP. Step 5 is marinate and also a PRP, and in this step we add salt and turmeric. Step 6 is deep fried. Deep fried is a CCP, and in this step we have to control the cooking temperature and the cooking time. Step 7 is put aside. It's also OPRP. In this step we identify that there are biological hazard and the place that we have to put the fried catfish is in the clean environment. Step 8 is raw chili, garlic and onion. This step is OPRP, and in this step we identify that there are biological, chemical and physical hazard. Step 9 is washing the chili, garlic and onion. This step is a PRP. Step 10 is blend chili, garlic and onion. This step also a PRP. Step 11 is saute all the ingredients. This step is a CCP, and in this step we have to control the temperature, the time, and also we add salt, sugar and the earlier fried catfish. Step 12 is plating. OPRP1, which is raw catfish, the control measure is the temperature of the fridge is below the negative 18 degrees Celsius. The critical limit is the temperature of the fridge. Monitoring this step is we check the temperature of fridge is achieved by using cooking thermometer and use visual evaluation to see the date of the receiving. Corrective action in this step is we have to discard the catfish if there are time and temperature abuse or spoilage noted. OPRP2, which is thawing step, the control measure is we thaw the catfish in the chiller with the temperature 4 degrees Celsius or less, not more than 3 days, or thawing time not more than 2 hours if the thaw in the room temperature. The critical limit is the temperature of the chiller and the time of thawing. And to monitor this step, we check the temperature of chiller is achieved by using cooking thermometer. Corrective action in this step is we have to discard the catfish if the temperature of chiller is more than 4 degrees Celsius for more than 4 hours, or we thaw in the chiller more than 3 days, or thaw in the room temperature more than 2 hours, and if we detect any spoilage of the catfish. CCP1, deep fried catfish, the control measure is the temperature of cooking must be suitable and adequate time of cooking must be achieved. The critical limit is we have to make sure that the internal part of the fried catfish must be above than 65 degrees Celsius. To monitor this step, we check the temperature of the internal part of the catfish by using the cooking thermometer. And corrective action in this step is we add more time of cooking until the internal part of the fried catfish is above than 65 degrees Celsius. In a put aside step, which is a PRP3, the control measure is we have to place the fried catfish in the clean environment and clothed with lid. The critical limit is the environment must be clean. To monitor this step, we use visual evaluations to see any animal at the fried catfish. The corrective action in this step is we have to discard the fried catfish if they are fly egg. In the OPRP4, which is raw chili, garlic, onion step, the control measure is we have to store all the ingredients in the suitable temperature, dry and ventilation closed place. Critical limit is there are no green part in the onion because it was toxic. To monitor this step, we use visual evaluations to not any spoilage. And corrective action in this step is we have to throw away all the ingredients that are spoilage and discard onion that have green part. In the saute step, which is CCP2, the control measure is we have to cook the ingredients in the suitable temperature and with adequate time of cooking. The critical limit must be the temperature of the cooking and the time of cooking. To monitor this step, we have to check the temperature of cooking is achieved by using cooking thermometer and use visual evaluations to see the oil was spared from the ingredients, or we can say it pecah minyak. Corrective action in this step is we have to add time in cooking with the suitable temperature until the ingredients cook. For the third menu, which is fried Chinese kale, there are 5 steps in this menu. The first step is raw Chinese kale, garlic, and onion. This step is OPRP, and we identified that there are physical and biological hazards. The step 2 is washing. Washing is PRP. Step 3 is cutting all the ingredients, also a PRP. Step 4 is cooking. Cooking is a CCP. In this step, we have to control the temperature, the time, and we add salt and sugar. Step 5 is plating. In the raw Chinese kale, garlic, onion step, it was OPRP1. The control measure is we have to store the Chinese kale in the refrigerator with temperature 4 degrees Celsius or less. Store onion, garlic in the suitable temperature, dry and ventilation close place. Critical limit in this step is discard the Chinese kale that are avoided and discard onion that have a green color. To monitor in this step, we use visual evaluation and see any spoilage. Corrective action is discard the Chinese kale, garlic, and onion that are spoilage. In the stir fry step, which is CCP1, the control measure is we cook the ingredients in the suitable temperature and with adequate time of cooking. Salt and sugar that added in this step is placed in the close and clean place. Critical limit is the temperature and time must be achieved and the ingredients are thoroughly cooked. To monitor this step, we check the temperature of cooking is achieved by using thermometer and the suitable time of cooking is achieved. Corrective action is we have to add more time of cooking until it reaches the suitable temperature and thoroughly cook. For the last menu, which is mango juice, there are 5 steps in this menu. The first step is raw mango. In this step is OPRP, and in this step we identified that there are physical and biological hazards. Step 2 is washing. Washing is PRP. Step 3 is cutting. Cutting also a PRP. Step 4 is blending, also a PRP, and step 5 is plating. In the raw mango step, which is OPRP1, the control measure is we have to store the mango in the refrigerator or room temperature. The critical limit is the temperature of the storage, which must not exceed the room temperature. And to monitoring this step, we use visual evaluations to see any spoilage. Corrective action in this step is we discard the mango if spoilage noted. Thank you for watching our video, and we hope that you guys get to learn something new from this video. And don't forget to like and share this video. Stay safe from the coronavirus, and if you want to go out, please wear masks and bring along your hand sanitizers. And we hope that you guys have a nice day. Thank you.